everybody, welcome back to my kitchen. Today I'm super stoked and excited to share with you a super easy and absolutely fabulous Greek recipe for Makaronopita. Makaronopita loosely translates to basically spaghetti pie. And that sounds already good enough. What I'm gonna do is kick it up with a few cheeses that are gonna melt and go ooey and gooey. I'm gonna throw in a beautiful cream sauce in that mix, and I'm gonna smother that between two layers of filo, crispy, baked in the oven. It's out of this world. And I have to tell you, it may not be the lowest carb recipe, but it is so worth the Lipitor. So first things first, let's get off and going. There goes my oven. We're gonna preheat the oven to 375 Fahrenheit or about 180 degrees Celsius. Get that going, which it is. Now we forget about it until we need it. Second thing, I've already started pre-boiling my pasta noodles, and for this I am using a number 3 pasta, which is a little bit thicker than a bucatini, but you can do bucatini as well. It is totally fine. It is going to be absolutely delicious, and it's pretty much ready to go. I want to do this for the most part al dente. I know Greeks don't do anything al dente when it comes to pasta. Basically we cook it till it's mush, but in this case I'm cooking it al dente. It's almost done. In a couple of minutes it'll be ready to go. So first things first, let's work on our sauce. So in our sauce, very easy, I'm gonna have 5 eggs, some Greek strained yogurt, milk, cream cheese, feta cheese, gouda. Come on, how good is that? It is gonna be absolutely luscious. So without any further ado, let's start first with our cream cheese. You're gonna need 250 gram packs of cream cheese that are gonna go in. And for your sake, I would kind of throw the cream cheese in the microwave for about 30, 40 seconds, maybe a minute, depending on your microwave. You want to soften it up. That is key. It'll make your life easier. So I'm gonna drop this down, lock and load, and let's get going to whipping our cream cheese. While our cream cheese is going, I'm gonna very carefully break 5 eggs into the cream cheese. All right, and that was my 5th egg. So that's gonna go in there, doing its thing. No pressure, no stress. This is kind of one of these recipes. It's not like those 15-minute meals or 30-minute meals, you know, running around like a fart in a bottle in the kitchen, trying to get everything done super fast. No, you get your shit together, you get organized, and it's gonna turn out perfect. So that's going. Now, let me turn off my pasta. Let that go there now. Again, one thing less to worry about. The next thing to go in to our mixture is 1 cup of Greek strained yogurt. Actually, what I'm gonna do is lower the speed, because I will tell you it will turn into like a mess if you don't. So I'm just gonna throw my yogurt in there. Perfect. Let that kind of do its thing there. That's awesome. Let's kick up the speed again, get it mixing. And actually what you want to do is, let me just turn that off. You want to occasionally scrape the bowl and make sure that all your ingredients, like the cream cheese, is off and is actually being used in the mix rather than sticking to your bowl. Perfect. That's good there. Now, while that works, what I'm going to do now is take 1.5 cups of feta, crumbled feta, and I'm going to put it in there as well. Carefully. There you go. That's nice. The feta will give us a nice briny tang to this recipe, which is fantastic, which is exactly like what's going to work for this. So that's working there. Next, I'm going to take maybe a couple tablespoons of Greek extra virgin olive oil. And this is where it kind of is going to incorporate that little bit of background hum. When you taste it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So that's mixing there. Nothing to this. So now, let me grab my colander, get this out of the way. I'm going to empty out my pasta. And what I'm going to use again is this pot to mix the pasta in, because we're going to incorporate the pasta and this sauce. Next, let me take it down now. I'm going to incorporate 1.5 cups of gouda. Is going to go into our sauce as well. And remember, this now will mix in with the hot pasta, and it's going to just melt and incorporate, and it's something. All right, that goes there. And lastly, 1 cup of milk. Boom. Nothing to this. Nothing to this at all. I can't wait. I've tried this and it is so luscious. And right now it's winter time. It's like late January. This is comfort food. This is like stick to your ribs. Let's face it, outside it's colder than a hooker's heart. What you need is some comfort inside. This is what we need right now. Let's see what's going on here. I've turned off my mixer and I'm just trying to incorporate all this goodness in here. That's fantastic. All right, so now I'm gonna grab my pot that I boiled the pasta in. It's now gonna become a mixing pot. I'm gonna take my pasta, just like this, and just kind of let it just kind of fall in there. It may get a little sticky, no big deal. It's Greek food. So now, with this already done, it's mixed, basically our cheese mixture is ready to go. Time to incorporate. And this is almost therapeutic for me, I gotta tell you. Perfect. Let me just put that here and unscrew this carefully. And what you're gonna do is just pour it all in there, just like that. Yeah, exactly. So let's scrape off the bowl, get all that goodness. Every little bit of this is flavor, and that's exactly what we're looking for. Okay, that's perfect right there. Let me throw this off to the side, grab my tongue, and just mix this around. This is like a bechamel-y style sauce kind of goodness. Oh my God. Oh my God. Now this pasta is just gonna suck up all this goodness from our cream sauce. It is gonna be absolutely fantastic. Wow. And lastly, I like to go pretty generous on the pepper. I'm not adding any salt. There's enough salt and sodium within the cheeses that you don't need any more salt. But then again, it's to your taste or your preference. If you like it, you can add it, but look at this. Now imagine this now baking off in the oven in between layers of phyllo, which, speaking of phyllo, is what we're gonna do next. Next thing is my pan that we're gonna bake this off in. I'm using a 13-inch stainless steel pan. I'm using a round pan this time. I wanna use the pie cutting method. So I just wanna cut it into pie-shaped pieces. So that's what I'm doing. So let's start layering this up. Take some of our olive oil and just really quickly kind of paste this around so that way everywhere that our phyllo will touch will not stick, because there's nothing worse than, you make a beautiful pie, a nice pita, and all of a sudden it sticks and it falls apart on you when you're trying to take it off. That's definitely not a good thing. So here we go, that's done, and out of the way, the phyllo. Classic phyllo for me is 5 up, 5 down. In anything that I use phyllo for, that's my formula. Now, when it comes to sweet dishes or sweet recipes like baklava, like buriko, things like that, I use butter between the phyllo sheets. When it comes to savory recipes like this, I use olive oil. Different effect, same crispiness, and it's the way I do it. If you prefer a different way, hey, whatever floats your boat, not a big deal at all. So very carefully, and this is where you kind of have to work fairly quickly so that way your phyllo sheets don't dry out on you. And even if you don't get every single layer and you get like some doubled up phyllo, don't worry about it. Not the end of the world. And put this like that around here. So per layer, you're gonna need 2 phyllo sheets, basically. So we're not gonna go actually 5 sheets, we're actually gonna go 4 because you're doubling them up. Our first layer of phyllo going in. Just drizzle around our olive oil and just kind of get that everywhere. And this is my own olive oil, so I know exactly where this came from and what's in it. At this point, there seems to be a lot of debate as to what kind of olive oil to use, Greek, Italian. Get the best one you can get. It doesn't matter if it's Greek, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese, although I have a preference and a soft spot for Greek, obviously. All right, there's the first layer. I'm gonna finish doing these layers and we'll start with our fill. All right, so now our bottom layers are in of our phyllo. I've oiled them up. Now it's time to bring back our filling. And for this, with our filling, you can see it's starting to tighten up as it's slightly cooling. And this is where you want to kind of be careful and not make too much of a mess. You just kind of spread it out as evenly as you can. You get the pasta going first. There. See where I'm going with this? This is like this is really special. This is really good. And don't let the runniness scare you now. As this bakes off, it is going to tighten up and form a creamy kind of consistency. So no worries there. The next thing we have to do is top up our sauce. And now as I'm adding my sauce into my pasta here, it's going to give you such a beautifully consistent and creamy filling. Unbelievable. Look at where this thing is going. And don't be afraid to give it a little jiggle, let it all kind of distribute evenly. And I think get a little bit more in there. And keep going. And judge it by ear, but this recipe and this consistency should be pretty well spot on for this to cover and have your pasta just covered the way it should be. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. That's exactly what I want. That is the picture of perfection. So let me move this out of here now, again. And now all we do is top up the top layer. And again, very simply, place it on your pasta so it comes in contact with it. Now, here's the thing as well. Some people may want to cut it around the sides. I prefer not to do that. I prefer to fold it and crimp it, which I'll show you in a bit. And what that does is actually creates a better seal for the phyllo and for the pasta underneath that's cooking. So let me just, and again, you have to work fairly quickly here because you don't want your phyllo sheets drying out on you and they become all crumbly and it's just horrid. So take this here, perfect, just like that. And again, the same deal applies here. What you're going to do is take your olive oil and drizzle it real quick over this, because this will actually give you that crustiness along with flavor. It's going to give you lots of flavor, but it's also going to give you that crispiness between the layers that you want. Perfect right there. That's the last of our filo going on. And now I want to show you very easily how you actually crimp this up. And what you're going to do is you're going to take all your filo layers from the bottom and kind of twist them up. So this isn't pretty, but it's going to add a little bit of rustic charm to our Makaronopita or our spaghetti pie. And let's face it, two things that go big in with me are spaghetti and pie. I know it's hard to believe, but seriously, that's how easy this is. And there you have it. This is my Makaronopita ready to go in the oven. And all that's left to do after I've crimped this up like this is very lightly oil up the crimped edges of your filo. Just like this, nothing complicated, and awesome. This is ready to go. Now, we preheated our oven, 375 degrees. You're gonna pop this in for about 25 to 45 minutes, depending on your oven. Here's the thing why it's such a wide kind of spread in terms of doneness. Your main concern should be the top of this and having this part here become golden brown and crispy. That's how you know it's done. So for some people's oven, it takes 25 minutes. For others, it takes 35, 40, 45. Keep an eye on it. So in the oven it goes, and I'll see you back here in a bit. All right, so here's a moment of truth. This is done. It's actually done to perfection. It's absolutely perfect. And if you can just take a look at the brownness and just how awesome the color is now. And after this, I have to tell you, I let it sit for about 20 minutes or so, 25 minutes, just to kind of let everything kind of come together. So now, time to cut this puppy up. It's kind of had a chance to settle and see what's going on the inside. All right, so check this out. That is like music to my ears. That's fabulous. All right, let's get to it. This is always my favorite part. And you're gonna cut like a nice piece. So far it looks like it hasn't stuck, so that's really, really good. I'll give myself a nice generous piece. And give it a little bit here, just around. Kind of let it kind of go off. Let me grab a plate real quick. And this is like, I'm gonna do the best I can without like actually like screwing this up. So just oh yeah. Who's your daddy? Like, I mean, this is absolutely perfect. It is absolutely magnificent. Wow. Look at all the layers. Look at all this absolute deliciousness. It is done to absolute perfection. You can see inside the pasta, the cheeses. It's almost like a bechamel type of sauce inside the pasta. It's, absolutely fantastic. Let me grab a fork real quick. And yeah, let me try this pasta here. That is absolute perfection right there. That is absolute perfection. You get the creaminess of the cream cheese and the gouda. You get the tanginess of the feta. It's bang on. Now here's the thing. For those of you that like eating bread with your pasta, and there are a few of you, yes, I know there are, the phyllo actually acts as the bread in this. This is absolutely fabulous. It's done. I am so pleased the way it turned out. I hope you guys really try this. I really hope you do. It's easy, nothing to it. It only looks like it took like a day to make. Very, very easy. So that's it for this episode on my Greek Makaronopita, or my spaghetti pie. Please hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, share this with your friends, your family, hell, share it with your enemies. You might make up. But the point is, keep cooking and keep trying new things. So until next time, I thank you very much for your time in watching this video. And until next time, bye for now.